Welcome back to the Soul Food Podcast. I'm Michael Vakelic.
And I'm Shannon Meyer. Together we share insights and conversations to help you cultivate joy, peace, and prosperity while unlocking your limitless potential.
Yes, get ready for a transformative journey filled with laughter, strategies, and lively discussions that will inspire you to thrive in every area of your life. Hi, Jeanette.
Hello, Michael. So nice to be here with you.
Yes, isn't it great?
Yes.
Another beautiful day in the Chicago area. It's cloudy and raining.
Also, well, in Barcelona, we've had, well, today has been sunny. We had some
Yeah.
rains, but all okay.
Yes, we have to have rain. I don't you just love the smell of rain too? I
When
mean,
I'm in my house, yes, I love it.
you've never walked out in the rain and just got
I
totally
have
soaked?
I remember one so many years ago. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say how many because it shows my age, but with my brother, and we were in Caracas in Venezuela, and we lived in the street, and
Okay.
it was how do you say that, like this, and the water was coming down, and
You're
we
walking
were,
up a hill.
yeah, it's in a
Oh, the water.
hill. Yeah,
Yeah.
coming down the hill, and we were
Yeah.
there dancing in the middle of the street with the water over our feet, and I will never forget. And it was so beautiful. We never forget. And many, many, many
Isn't
years
that
ago.
fun?
Mm-hmm. It was
You know,
amazing.
it's funny. I did that too.
Yeah.
I did that too. My parent, my parents, I told them, I mean, I had a friend come over and I wanted to sit with them, but I thought, do you want to go for a walk? And they're like, yes. Well, it was pouring rain. So we just walked anyway. We got totally soaked. We were dancing and just walking and walking and walking for like my parents were like, you're gonna go out now? Yes, I am.
And you
So it
will
was
never
fun.
forget. And you never forgot
Yeah,
because
never
it's a
forget. I remember
sensation.
that day. Yeah,
Yeah.
good for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Good for you.
The same, the same, the same. So how are
So
you doing?
I am wonderful. And how are you?
Excellent. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Yes.
Oh, wow. She always one-ups me. I'm wonderful. I'm excellent. No, I'm kidding. Totally kidding, of course. Yes, that's beautiful. Yes, we're wonderful. We're excellent. We're happy. We're living life. There we go.
Yes. Enjoying the day, every moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate that you were sharing about the ministry and the things that you have been associated with. And it turns out we are both ministers from the same university, which is amazing. And yeah, that was it was a fun thing. It really was. I enjoyed that too. I really did.
Yes.
Did you do most of yours online? I've been out there
Yes.
a couple times, but
Ah,
did you
how
do?
nice. I wish I would have. No, no, I did it all online
Okay.
from Spain,
Okay.
So
Right,
online.
sure. Spain. I'll have to visit someday. It would be really
Yeah, you're
nice to
invited.
see Spain.
You're
I don't,
invited.
I've never been to Spain. I've been to Germany and I mean, uh, uh, Germany, Belgium, Austria. Where else have I been? I don't know. Europe. I've been to Europe. Okay, so anyway, today, I just wanted to mention something here. I know I'm kind of jumping around.
No, no.
Um, I wanted to mention something that I thought was very unique. I heard someone speaking the other day and they were talking about how unconsciously we're not aware of ourselves. And this is something really big that I learned, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Being involved in hypnosis and being a
Mm-hmm.
hypnotherapist, of course, I'm very familiar with the unconscious mind and your unconscious thoughts and behavior. Okay. We go through days not even realizing what we do. So we've talked about this, how important awareness is when we start becoming aware of ourselves, aware of what we think and what we say and what we feel every day and what our behaviors are becoming. So the awareness is the first step always.
Yes.
I heard someone talking the other day and they made a pretty interesting analogy that I wanted to bring up here, and I want to hear your thoughts on this, okay? And it kind of points out this idea that we're not aware of ourselves. You know, when we're first awakening, when we're first learning to self-realize, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Here we are. I mean, we can go out into a crowd of people and we don't recognize our own behavior. We don't recognize how we come across. We have some ideas of how we come across to people, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but everyone else can see you. Many people can see you for who you are, but we don't see it. Okay, it's so much of it is unconscious. It's patterned. It's
Yeah.
something that we continually jump into each day without ever really realizing. So the analogy was this man was talking about how you can stink on the inside and you're
Mm-hmm.
not aware of it. And I thought it was,
And
think,
in the
what are we
outside
talking about
also
here?
some people.
Yeah, so we can stink on the inside. In other words, say you forget to brush your teeth or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here you are talking to a bunch of people. Now, all those people can tell you didn't brush your teeth,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't know it. Here,
Yeah.
your nose is this close to your mouth, and you can't smell your own breath,
Mm-hmm.
right? But
Yeah.
everyone around you can smell it. It's the same with our behaviors and how we think, how we come across to people. People out there can see it, but we don't. Now, what do you think of that? What do you think of that analogy? I thought that was pretty cool.
It's very true. It's very true when you are not in observation, no?
Yes, yes,
When you are living your life, going and walking, everything, but not in observation, not aware of your world.
yes.
Yes, 100%. And
Your own
plus,
personal world, right?
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And plus, in addition, even if we are in observation, we are always in observation from our point of view, not the point of view of
Yes.
the rest. No, so we will never be able to really see what they see in us.
Right, right, right. But I think the more we observe ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
more we become aware of ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
the we open up to all that we really are, and it's a constant evolving
Yes.
to the state of absolute grace, of
Mm-hmm.
self-love, of beauty, I mean, there's so many benefits to becoming uh, evolved uh, to higher consciousness. I mean, there's so many benefits. I mean, I mean, I could go on and on and on about this, about the peace, the bliss, the way things are attracted into your life. I mean, just everything changes. You see people differently. You see different situations and events differently. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it,
Mm-hmm.
it's such an amazing thing, really, when you
Yeah.
can step back and be more of an observer, as you
Mm-hmm.
say, and be more aware of yourself and who you really are, which is
Mm-hmm.
so powerful. I
Yes.
mean, being aware of who you really are, and instead of all those old patterned ideas and concepts and thoughts
And
that
labels.
you were taught. I mean, this week um, was amazing for me, but I want to hear, of course, more from you, Jeanette. Tell me more.
In this regard, no, for me, and what I saw this week is really that observation is key to everything.
Yeah,
Because we talk about focusing, we talk about the mind and the heart and everything. But if we are not in observation, nothing can happen. Well, or everything happens and you don't see anything. You are sleeping and you are not aware of of anything, of who you are. And really being aware of who you are is really becoming this being that is so powerful, no? Because this you're living in the now, you're living in the moment, you're taking choices based on what you're feeling in the moment, what you are observing in the moment, no? So you are really seeing what's happening outside and what's happening inside of you, and what outside is mirroring to you and what you are mirroring to the outside. So really it's very liberating and very powerful. It's very powerful to live like that.
Absolutely. And I think when you're observing, it's it's very important to observe from a place um, of neutrality, more of
Yes.
neutrality, because when you're observing the world, it's very easy for most of us to jump into an old idea, an old concept, and we have a judgment of what we're seeing. It may be a very simple judgment. It may not be something, condemning, but we judge it just because of what we know or what we believe, what the mind believes is true.
Yes.
So when we're observing it, we need to watch even our own observations because we could go right back into an old pattern, an old way of thinking, and we look
Mm-hmm.
at something and, oh, I'm just observing that. But yes, if you're judging it in any way, if you attach it to an old idea, an old way of thinking, an old way of processing information, then we're not healing. We're
Mm-hmm.
going back into an old pattern, which is it's amazing. It's amazing. So it is a journey to become uh, the observer of your own ego in
Mm-hmm. Yes.
process.
Yes.
You need to be the observer of your own ego also and realize and feelings or
Mm-hmm.
emotional states are usually what will give you the clue, hey, I'm not in the right place here. I love this stuff. I'm telling
Yes, yes,
you, it has
yes.
changed everything.
Yes, and for instance, last week also I was in a meeting at work with a situation that I don't like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and well, they were sharing things that weren't not in conformity with my team or myself. But it is, I say it's so liberating to be an observer because I was observing how I was feeling when the
Mhm.
words were said, how my stomach was hurting, but I didn't. I was so in observation and aware, but I didn't react and I didn't respond, and I just listened. I said yes or whatever, and I was very calm, pointing out certain things, but not reacting, not going to my beliefs, not going to my ego. No, because I was in observation. I had all those things happening, no, the ego and the reaction, everything inside of me.
Sure.
But I was observing, and I was in the observer. So these things just stayed within me. They didn't go out.
Very nice. Very nice. When I was first learning this way to process what was happening in my world, when I first was learning to observe, and yes, the ego can always pop back in there and
Mm-hmm.
want you to react in some way. The first step, when I started to feel that on the inside, as you described,
Mm-hmm.
you start to feel yourself. Your blood pressure is going up.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes.
Whatever's happening, right? Something is triggering you. The first thing I learned to do was rather than, you
Mm-hmm.
know, say something or
Yes,
react,
yes,
take a step back. Take a
yes.
step back and let it process. Let it process, okay? So understand what was just said and try to see various viewpoints
Mm-hmm.
and how this could work or not work, because ultimately the universe is always working in our favor. So it could be showing us something inside we need to heal, or
Mm-hmm.
it could have an outcome that would be really great for us. But in
Yes.
that moment, our ego self isn't really liking what it's hearing. So I get it. I get it. Absolutely understand. Beautiful.
Yes, yes, it's very nice because you see afterwards that the meeting went how it went without you having being in anger or being in any emotional state because you just were observing
Yes.
and talking from there, from the observant in calmness, and you didn't generate anything that should not have been generated,
Right.
from the
No reaction.
ego or the
Very
emotions
nice.
or the
Very nice.
belief or the pattern.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. So, was the situation resolved, or did you
Yes,
resolve it within
yes,
yourself?
I did. I did. No, and I'm very pleased because I'm very calm and there's turmoil, no, there's, but in this, not turmoil, it's more um, not knowing what will
Hmm.
happen with
Hmm.
this situation
Hmm.
because of the circumstances. The circumstances have changed, but in this calmness and this observation, I know, I trust everything will be solved as it has to for the best for everyone. So this way of observing and that creates this peace and calm within, creates your trust, and you don't jump into conclusions into anything because at the end you don't know anything, and that everything happens for you, for the team and for anyone. Then when you observe, you just let it go. You just let it flow, and you flow with it, and you see where it's going, choosing every moment what's best,
Yes.
but not jumping into conclusions or into anything because for what, you know?
Well, I think it's good to jump to conclusions and get all. No, I'm kidding.
and, and throw it all away.
Yeah, start yelling and yeah, whatever. That always is a great outcome.
Yeah. For the
No,
ego, yes.
I believe that the world is changing and
Mm-hmm.
we are all changing. There's new energy being brought into our world
Yes.
and our consciousness. Okay, so when you say that, I agree wholeheartedly because our consciousness is being raised. So we have to be able to see that the outcome will be uh, best. It could be best for all. It could be best for you. It depends what the situation is, but because consciousness is rising, it's really a great idea to stop reacting. And we've
Mm-hmm.
talked about this too.
Mm-hmm.
Choose neutrality. I
Yes.
mean, be at peace with what's happening and allow the best outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's a lot of talk about people, focused on manifesting and bringing what they want into their life. And we have the ability to do that. But I've always believed that, we can have an intention for an end result, always,
Mm-hmm.
which is highest and best for everyone, which would be
Yes.
the greatest result. Okay. We can have an intention for a result, but I always say or something better, or the universe will guide me to the exact place I need to be or the exact outcome, that's highest and best for me in the world. So it's good to leave that open today because I believe that trying to control takes
Mm-mm.
us into a place of chaos, and this causes more reaction because you can't control.
No.
It's as much as you like to control things, the ego likes to control things. Um, Today, it's much better if we allow the outcomes to happen. And believe me, I have an ego that hates that idea. Oh, are you kidding? It's like, no, I want this.
Yeah, yeah,
And so I understand. I mean,
yeah.
you have to be able to watch your ego, and everyone knows what the ego is, right? We've talked about this, right?
I think
Every
so, but I
idea,
think it,
concept,
yeah,
belief, every emotion, those are
yes.
all ego, right? Those all
Hmm.
create your ego self. So,
Yeah, yeah. And
so
the other good thing about this observation mode when you are in such a situation is that since you are in peace and trusting and observing what's
yes.
happening, you are able to see opportunities that
Mm,
if you were focusing on the situation and your anger and the uncertainty and all those things, you might not see those things, not the opportunities because you are so into the focus of something else in your mind, no? So you don't
yeah,
see the openness, what opens up in the horizon, that it's opening opportunities to then choose and select.
absolutely. And this speaks to a lot of the people who, I mean, were raised
Mm-hmm.
to see what's wrong in the
Yeah.
situations. So your ego is used to picking out what's not working. Yeah, this is the ego self likes to point out what's not working or what could be better or we should do it this way or there's so it's hard to let go of the control and that old patterning that a lot of people have. I mean, um, watching the election, watching the things that are going on in our country, I understand their concern, but it's so much better. I mean, I was actually just observing the whole thing
Mm-hmm.
without any reaction this time. This
Mm-hmm.
this whole presidential election, just observing. There was no reaction on my part. It was really not
Beautiful, no?
really nice. Yeah. But I can understand being raised to see what could be better or what needs to change, and it is the whole our consciousness is changing so much. I mean, what I see on Facebook now is or any of the social medias that I
Mm-hmm.
just visit every once in a while. Everything is shifting. It could be just what I'm attracting, but I do see people who were constantly negative kind of falling away. I don't see them in my feed anymore. So, yeah, amazing.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. I think so. And there is such an expansion in all of that, no? When you
Hmm.
when you are able to experience this, um, yes, you're expanding, no? In consciousness, you are rising because experiences at the end are anchoring the relearning or the
Yes,
unlearning.
yes, unlearning. I love that word.
Yes.
I talked about that in my first book.
Mm-hmm.
Unlearn what you've learned.
Yes.
That's the first step.
Yes.
Okay, see this whole list of things here? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I even made a list. Okay, let's see. I'm, just by being a man,
Uh-huh.
by being white, by
Uh-huh.
being this age, by being working in a corporation, by eating these foods, I was set up with a whole set of things that, oh, this is how I have to be.
Yeah.
No, it
No,
isn't.
no, they don't. No, they don't.
No, I mean, but that's where I was trained to go. This
Yeah.
is how the world is set up.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And I've had to do a lot of learning along the way about, I mean, the preconceived notions about different races, about male, female,
Mm-hmm.
and
Now the
I
labelings,
still
yeah.
see a lot of that out there. But
Yeah.
don't you agree? I mean, Um, to me, it's like, wow, I'm more in the feminine or masculine energies, okay,
Mm-hmm.
which has nothing to do with
No,
female or man
no.
or being a man or a woman.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like you. I don't divide by that in my life. It's a human, every man and woman. I mean, mankind at the end,
Yes.
no? It's
Yes.
mankind. It's this,
Yes.
no matter w- any label you have, at the end you're human.
So, see, in my ego,
Mm-hmm.
I'll identify that right away. Well,
Mm-hmm.
as I'm looking at what's going on in the world, I'll see a post about um, you know, men need to get together with men for this reason, or this group is just for women, and we're gonna do XYZ
Mm.
for some of that can almost trigger me. It's like, why are we drawing all these lines? It's like, oh,
Yes.
it's to me, it is the same as if you went back into the 60s,
Mm-hmm.
50s in the United States. White people sit in this part of the bus and black
Yes.
people sit in that part of the bus.
Yes. It's the
It's
same.
like, why are we drawing these lines? Why are we doing
In my case, I'm thinking like you, maybe
that?
many won't understand it, but for instance, in Spanish,
Yeah.
now they are differentiating with the words, the gender. I mean, if it's woman or man, okay? So they believe that putting an A at the end of the word already defines that it's feminine, and
Uh,
so, and in reality, in the Spanish grammar, it's not like that. But you hear it everywhere that instead of saying, um, like in Spanish, todos means everyone, okay?
yes.
Now they have to say todos and todas to make to supposedly take the female, the women into account when they say todos. For me, every time I hear this, and I hear it a lot at the gym, there's a every morning it says todos y todas. For me, I am encompassed in the todos because
Yes.
Spanish language has always been like this, and it encompasses everyone. When
Yes.
you separate, it's when you are separating me from the all, so you are differentiating with something that you don't have to differentiate because everyone is everyone.
Yes. Yeah. I agree so much. I really do that. When you come from our higher learning, higher consciousness, okay, or let's call it Christ consciousness, God consciousness, however you'd like to, whatever word you want to use to
Source.
identify higher
Yeah.
consciousness. Okay, we're all brothers. And when I
Mm-hmm.
say brothers,
Yes.
I don't mean it's just for the guys out there. No, forget the
No.
women. No, nope, we're not
No,
gonna,
no,
nope, we're
no.
not going there. It's
No, no,
just
no.
for the brothers. It's like,
No,
no.
no, no, no,
It's
no,
like,
no.
no, we are all brothers. You could say
Yes.
brothers and sisters. If people identify better with that, okay. But
Yes.
we
One and
all
the
are part
same.
of the
One and
one.
the
We're
same.
all part of the one. That's it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and this is one of my highest teachings. Separation
Mm-hmm. Yes.
is taught by society, but where does it originate? It originates in the mind. The mind
Mm-hmm. True.
believes in separation. When it
Yes.
looks out into the world,
Yes.
it sees you as separate from everything.
Mm-hmm.
But really, that is the number one untruth.
Yes.
Huge.
Yes. Totally
If
agree. Yes,
anyone's
it
listening
is.
to this, please, this is what you need to get. There's no separation.
No.
You're not separate from anyone or anything.
No.
The mind creates the separation. So
Yes.
it believes in separation. And, to listen to some of the very old text, which I'm not sure if you've heard this, but apparently we were all one at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And when we had this thought, or someone had a thought, wonder
Mm-hmm.
what it would be like to do this. And poof, there they were. Okay. And then there was a male and a female. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we created this whole world of separation, but we never are separate. The mind, when it created this separation and this whole civilization, as we call it, it believed we were separate from God, but we've never been separate.
No, we are not. We are not.
I hope that made sense. We're not separate.
No, and the thing is that you can believe it or not, but you have to experience it. And when
Yeah,
you experience it, which is through your heart, through your oneness, through when meditating, or whenever you do something that is so blissful, that it really, this experience shows you, it's for you to know, because you know in that instant that we are one.
yes, yes,
It's
and
not just
that's
because we're talking, because we read it in the old scriptures. No, no, it's because we have felt it and we know it. And
right.
knowing, you cannot describe. We just know it.
One of my teachings, yes, it's beautiful. Thank you. One of my teachings, uh, it told me over and over, well, Mike, you're the only one here, so you're the one, you're the only one here, so what you're seeing is you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that we're not separate. So it's to stand in front of someone and have that realization. And I believe it comes through the heart. I believe it comes from releasing all the judgments that come from the mind,
Mm-hmm.
but being in the heart and be standing in front of someone and to actually, you know, see this person through you could call it God's eyes, you could call it
Mm-hmm.
love, unconditional love, being in that place right then and seeing and feeling this beautiful connection.
Yes, it's amazing.
That's an amazing place to be.
Yes,
It
amazing.
and the more you raise your consciousness, the easier it is to feel that.
Yes, yes. I feel it through the co-creation of the conversation. But one way to feel it and to experience it, and practice it is, I think, having someone in front of you and looking into the eyes. But seeing each other into the eyes, um, being in the heart, trying to be in the heart, no, but really looking deep into the eyes. And in one moment, you just get this, wow, you see more than the eyes. And that's
Yes.
the oneness.
Do you think though that that's being in the heart when you can see that deeply into someone's eyes? Or
Well, it's getting in the way of the mind, and seeing beneath, beyond what you see
yes.
physically. And for me, Jeanette, it's seeing through the heart.
Okay. Okay. Beautiful. Yeah. I'm in this. I always like to goof around. So, first thing that came to my mind was look into my eyes.
I'm looking into your
It's
heart
the
when
old
I.
hypnotist thing. It's
Yeah,
okay.
also you have that, yeah. But for me, I'm connecting with you, which I call co-creation. No, it's heart to heart. I'm feeling you. I feel your heart when I'm sitting here with you in the now. I'm here with you, open-hearted, and just being who I am.
It's a beautiful thing. And
Mhm.
I've always been, I mean, here I am turning it back into a conversation about me, but
No,
would you
no.
say that you're an empath? Would you say that you're empathic, or
Yeah,
are
I
you
guess so.
sensitive? Do you feel very easily?
Yes, I feel very easy.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I have. I always thought it was not a gift, but it is a
Mm-hmm.
gift.
It's
It's
a
a
gift.
beautiful gift.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful gift. Um, the emotions that I can,
Mm-hmm.
oof,
Mm-hmm.
holy,
I
which is
understand.
very different for a guy. I get it. Okay, I get it.
But why? Why? It's
Well, because of our conditioning, it's different for
yeah.
a guy, right? But uh, and I've met some other guys who do this too.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I have. I'm sensitive and have some very deep feelings,
Mm-hmm.
very. And I can sense people. I can be thinking about someone or some experience I had, and tears of joy can come up,
Mm.
tears of beauty. I mean, it's just amazing. It comes out.
Beautiful.
So yeah. And I've learned to use this that at first when I was doing hypnotherapy and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
you're taking on people's energy. When you first
Mm-hmm.
start, you kind of take on their energy.
Yeah.
Now I've learned how to, if I take any in at all, I breathe it out in a healing way. I transmute it and
Yeah.
heal it and send it back. And the person changes right in front of me. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's
It's
really amazing.
we are
So
energy. Yes. Yes.
yes, beautiful. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Another interesting talk. Holy cow.
Yes.
How do we get
I
into all
appreciate
this?
you. I appreciate it. And
I appreciate you
yeah.
too. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to do this podcast with you.
Yes.
Yes.
The same.
Yes.
And I love our audience when they comment and when they ask questions
Of
because
course.
because
Great.
we might be sharing something from for sure from our point of view, from
Sure.
our experiences, and we might not consider um, questions because we assume them already as natural because of where we are, no, of
Yes.
our experience. So if you have questions, if you have comments, if you have anything that you like to share for us also to talk about that, happy, happy, happy. Really, we would be amazingly happy and grateful for that.
Absolutely. Please leave your comments and questions. We do want to hear from you. I love to hear other perspectives, other people's experiences.
Oh,
And yeah,
yes.
we can incorporate that into our podcast. Absolutely.
Yes, yes, because talking about experiences, and we mentioned this already. My experience is going into the heart to release the mind, no,
Yes.
and for Michael, it's a different way to do it. So there might be, well, there might be no. I know, and we know there are gazillion ways to do it because everyone is unique. So if you want to comment about that or question, so there's so many different ways to see things, no, that it would be very, very helpful for us to know about that also.
Absolutely. Please write in. Yes. We'd love to hear your comments or your questions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, thank
Anytime.
you.
Anytime. Yes. In fact, uh, um, please do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you,
Yes.
Jeanette. It was another
Thank you,
great
Michael.
podcast episode, and I'm very grateful for you. I'm very grateful for the people who are tuning in, who we get to share our wisdom with, and
Mm-hmm.
a story or two.
Mm-hmm. Which I
And
always helping to understand.
yes, yes, absolutely. So, and I am wishing for or trusting
Mm-hmm.
that everyone achieves their highest consciousness.
Oh, yes.
It is the most beautiful thing we can do for ourselves. So,
Yes. Oh, yes. Just explore, experience, and practice. Don't be afraid. Just go.
yes, absolutely.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Jeanette.
Bye bye. Thank you so
See you
much.
next week.
See you next week. Yes.